diwakili oleh Kasih Kepustakawanan. Kepada Bapak Ika Rudianto, Esos MIKOM, kami silakan.
Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera buat kita semua. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Saya cukup berbahagia pada pagi hari ini karena pada pagi hari ini kita melakukan workshop terkait Web of Science. Ini kedua ya, kali kedua untuk tahun ini, dan dihadiri banyak peserta, ya baik yang online di Zoom maupun yang hadir onsite di ruang Parlina Mujono ini. Tentunya ini berkat rahmat Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Tidak lupa kami ucapkan syukur kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala yang telah memberikan rahmat beliau. Saya ucapkan terima kasih kepada Miss Juling selaku konsultan ya, selaku Regional Solution Consultant dari Clarified, kemudian Mbak Wiwi selaku perwakilan dari iGroup. Terima kasih yang selama ini telah mensupport kami, dan tentunya kami ucapkan juga terima kasih atas kehadiran Bapak Ibu semua yang hadir secara online maupun offline. Bapak Ibu perwakilan dari dosen, kemudian peneliti, mahasiswa, pustakawan yang sedia kiranya hadir mengikuti workshop pada pagi hari ini. Perlu kita ketahui bahwa Universitas Airlangga telah beberapa tahun terakhir ini sudah berlangganan beberapa e-resources, salah satunya adalah Web of Science. Kita ketahui Web of Science itu adalah indexing jurnal, di mana manfaatnya banyak mungkin bagi Bapak Ibu semuanya. Nah, tentunya di sini harapan kami dengan mengadakan workshop ini, kita nanti selepas dari workshop ini bisa meningkatkan dan mengoptimalkan pemanfaatan dari Web of Science itu, fitur-fiturnya apa saja, itu bisa kita manfaatkan. Karena kita ketahui bahwa di Web of Science sendiri itu sudah sekitar ada 8.500-an jurnal yang sudah terindeks di situ dari sekitar 150 disiplin ilmu. Jadi itu silakan bisa dimanfaat, diikuti workshopnya dengan seksama dan kemudian kita implementasikan. Sekian, akhirul kalam, saya ucapkan terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat berworkshop ya.
Baik, terima kasih Pak Ika atas sambutan yang diberikan, dan saatnya Bapak Ibu kita masuk ke acara inti pada hari ini, yaitu materi workshop Web of Science yang akan dipandu oleh Ibu Wiwi Wiyanti. Kepada Ibu Wiwi kami persilakan.
Tes.
Cek.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, namo buddhaya. Selamat pagi kepada para peserta. Good morning ladies and gentlemen. Yang saya hormati Ibu Suherdi selaku Kepala Perpustakaan Universitas Airlangga. Yang saya hormati kepada narasumber kita pemateri hari ini, Julin, selaku Senior Customer Success Consultant, Clarified, dan yang saya hormati kepada seluruh tim perpustakaan dan kepada seluruh peserta audiensi yang telah hadir, baik mahasiswa, para peneliti, dosen, dan semua yang telah menyediakan waktunya pada pagi hari ini. Before I start this event, I would like to introduce myself first. I am Wiwi Wiyanti. I will be a moderator for today event. Wait, yeah. But before I start, I want to read some pantun first to make the situation more enjoyable. Jalan-jalan ke perpustakaan Universitas Airlangga. Jangan lupa meminjam buku. Semoga hari ini kita semua berbahagia karena ya karena kita semua dapat menimba ilmu. Okay. Yes, I will start in English again. This hybrid workshop Web of Science 2024, which is form of a collaboration between Clarivate and the Library of Erlangga University. And I will read a brief information about our speaker today. I will share screen first. Wait. Yeah. Ching Julin, as a senior customer success consultant, specializing in Clarivate research and analytics solutions, Julin engaged with researchers and university leaders around Southeast Asia in discussions around optimizing researchers' workflow, bibliometrics, and strategic decisions making. Julin has extensive experience in STM publishing, covering various research fields. During her career, she represented leading academic publishers in engagement across Asia Pacific. Julian's passions for marketing, client engagement, and academia, combined with her experience in different publishing houses, enable her to provide a unique blend of insight and stakeholder perspective regarding academic research output and research evaluations. So Julian, from this short bio, you've been in a few publishing right before.
Yes. I've been in Elsevier.
Oh,
I've been in Sage.
Sage.
And also British Medical Journal, BMJ.
Okay. And in Clarivate, how long you've been here?
Clarivate. Oh, too long.
It's
5 years, 5.5 years. Yeah. Can get long service soon.
Yeah. So for the audience, based on her experience, we can see she qualified enough to bring this kind of topic, right? And in this event, we will have two main topic. The first topic is, First topic is step to research, discovery, and efficient literature review. In this season, you will be able to understand how to conduct literature review efficiently. And the second, you can understand how Web of Science can help you find the most influential and hot research paper. And the last, you will be able to learn how to identify gaps and emerging trends in a particular topic by exploring the citations network of a paper. And in the second season, we will learn about publishing for research impact with journal citations report. In this season, you will be able to understanding the other key metrics for journal evaluations beyond impact factor and avoid the pitfalls of publishing in predatory journals. Second, you can get information how to best practice of using journal impact factor or journal citations indicator for journal evaluations. And last, you can learn how journal comparison and selections of best fit journal to publish your research. Yeah, before we start, I will explain some regulations in this workshop. First, we give 60 minutes for speaker to deliver the material in every topic. And while the speaker is delivering the material, participants are not allowed to interrupt because we will have session Q&A after speakers finish the presentations. Okay, without no longer.
Thank you. The rules sound very strict, right?
Oh yeah. Before I will start some video from Clarivate, can I play video from my PC? Yes, wait, I will share my. It's a short brief information about Web of Science background.
The Web of Science Core Collection is the world's most trusted and respected source of interconnected research information. But we didn't arrive here overnight. It all started in 1955 with one man's revolutionary idea. Dr. Eugene Garfield recognized that the citations an article receives have inherent value and can reveal the relationships between science's great ideas in a way that traditional indexing cannot. He saw that by selecting the world's best research content and indexing every citation, one could form a global network of the most influential ideas that transcends disciplines, nations, languages, terminology, and time. The Web of Science is now more powerful than ever, but our mission has remained true and unwavering. Rather than trying to do the impossible and index all of the scholarly literature in the world, our expert in-house editors instead select only the most influential source materials from across the globe. This selection process is independent of publishers and research institutes, ensuring that the version of the literature you see is an accurate, unbiased reflection of the research landscape. Then, we index both the source items and every reference made by those sources, whether they point to scholarly sources or not. In essence, we include both the most significant scholarly content and everything that contributed to it. Everything else is just noise. We've been building it right from the beginning. This consistent methodology, used for over 50 years, has created a world-class index, ideal for search and discovery, as well as for analytics. You don't compromise when pursuing your life's work, and neither do we.
Thank you. Now, Julin, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Selamat pagi. I think that's the only bahasa I know. Besides, makan sudah? Sudah. Study sudah? Belum. Okay. Let me share my screen. For those who are online, hello. Okay. Let me just close this. All right. So today, earlier on, we gave your rules, very strict, Vivi. Here today, my role is to make it more enjoyable for all of you. Okay. At the end of the session, we actually have potentially quiz, so you must pay attention. Okay. I will not be like your teacher, ada rotan, no. Okay. But we will test you on the things that we will present today. Okay. So show of hands, how many of you don't know Web of Science? How many of you don't know journal citation reports? I see some people like, it's okay. No right or wrong. That's why you're here. Yeah. So you heard of journal impact factor? Okay. So journal citation reports is the home of the journal impact factor. So when you see on the publisher website, the journal, next to the journal, you have journal impact factor. That one comes from journal citation reports. So today, I'm going to share about these two resources for you so that, number one, you can easily find good research documents to use for your own research and reference. And I will also teach you how to think about the journal before you submit your manuscript to that publisher or that journal, because it's very important. Yeah. Okay. So through the session, if you have questions, I will happily answer them. Okay, but we definitely have a Q&A session, right? Right, Bu Wiwi? Boleh dah? Okay. Yeah. All right. So first thing, I wanted to share this phrase with you. Keyword search is easy, but often less robust than you think. Now, how many of you always start with Google search. It's okay, never mind, sure. How many of you always start with Google search for anything? Me, yeah. For anything. So including your research also? Okay, some of you will start from maybe the journals that you know, yeah? Or you go to the library website and then you search the OPAC system, the library system, okay? But always you start with what? Keyword, right? Yeah. You know what keyword is searching? Keyword is only showing whether the word is present in the document or the abstract or the title. So if the term doesn't appear, then, but if it's relevant paper, it will not come up. Okay, so keyword searching is good, but you need to do more to get the more comprehensive information. But then nowadays, we all know there's AI, right? ChatGPT. Just the other day, I have a 10-year-old son. I cannot solve his maths problem. You know what I did? I went to ChatGPT. I typed in the question. First answer, not bad, but very long working. Then I type in another one, different answer. Then I say, how? So artificial intelligence is there now, but there is also some limitations to searching using AI. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you can rely on these different tools, but always make a sensible judgment for yourself when finding information. So then what can I use to find research documents? We come across the citation database. Earlier on, we showed you the video of Web of Science. You saw the network, right? So one paper connected to another paper and so on, becoming a big spider web. That is the citation network. So a citation is a reference to other published materials. So when somebody put a reference in your research article, what is that for? What is that for? To acknowledge past research. Okay, because you cannot suka-suka say, oh, this is my research, right? You must say, oh, I made use of this idea from this other document. So you need to put in a reference. So with this reference, that is the connection between research documents. And following this connection, you will then be able to see how that research has evolved over time and what are the potential gaps that you can plug with your own research. All right. So that's why I wanted to introduce the Web of Science platform to you. Now today, if any of you have your laptop with you, by the way, a big hint, later on, if I do pop quiz, you need to use Web of Science and JCR. So stand by your laptop, okay? All right. So for the Web of Science platform, it is an ecosystem. It allows for integration of many different types of content from the heart, which is our core collection, and also other specialized collections that can be subscribed separately. So there's things like InSpec for engineering, Medline, zoological records, and other non-publication literature. So like patent information, preprints, dissertations, and thesis. So within the Web of Science platform, there is potential to explore more than just published articles. Okay? These are all the different databases that are available, but of course for UNAIR, you have selected databases that you have access to. So for UNAIR, you have access to Web of Science core collection, the preprint citation index. Do you all know what is preprint? Okay, so before you publish an article in a journal, you submit your manuscript to the journal, right? So at the point of submitting the manuscript to the journal, if the journal says, yes, I will accept, okay, but it has to go through peer review. So before it goes through peer review, that is called preprint. That means belum peer review. So preprint allows you to see what is up and coming. So very, very important content to see. But you must use with caution. It gives you ideas, but It is not peer-reviewed yet. Okay, so use with a pinch of salt. All right. Then we have dissertations and thesis. Now at university, you all have to write dissertations and thesis, right? To graduate. Okay. Would it be nice to see other universities' dissertations and thesis also? Yeah, you want to see those in Harvard? Yeah. Okay. This ProQuest Dissertations and Thesis Citation Index allows you to then see the dissertations and thesis from other countries' universities. Okay. You also have access to Grants Index. How many of you work with like real research work that requires funding? Anybody? No? Okay. If you want to potentially next time be a researcher, okay, you might want to apply for grant. Then when you want to apply for grant, you want to see what the funder has previously funded before. So all of you heard of Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, right? Yeah, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation gives a lot of funding for research, medical research. You want to know what kind of research they have funded so that when you want to apply to them, you know what appeals to their grant. All right. So those are the ones that UNAIR actually has access to. So coming back to the citation network, how does it work? So today, if you're going into Web of Science, you always start with a keyword search. It's okay. It gives you a big web. So I like to use the analogy of fishing. Yeah, fishing. When the fishermen go out to sea, they don't use one fishing rod, right? Fish until when, I also don't know. Okay, they will cast a net. So the keyword search allows you to cast that white net first. Yeah, and then you use the filters and the other tools within the system to pull in that net. So as you pull in that net, your result set becomes smaller, but good big fish inside. Okay, so that's how the citation network works. So let's say I have found a research article from 2012 that gave me an idea, you know, Eureka, ding, light bulb, I got an idea. I want to use this one to see whether I can formulate my own research. Okay, so from this Eureka document in 2012, published quite a long time ago already, right? You want to see the full timeline of the change. So how do you find what has happened before 2012? How do you find what has happened before 2012? Where do you see in the document? I heard somebody mumble references. Yes. So it's under the cited references. So the cited references will always be past published documents. Okay. So these ones will be the ones in blue. And you can definitely continue to see those documents references as well. And then that's how the network evolves. But now this year is what, 2024, right? What has happened between 2012 to 2024? You will look at time cited. How many times this document was cited by newer publication? So those that are in green. So now you can see backwards in time, forwards in time, and see the comprehensive timeline of this research. Okay. Then in Web of Science, we have a third one, which is the yellow related records. These are records that share similar references with the one that you were looking in 2012. That means out of maybe 20 references, 2 are the same. Then we consider them related records. So on Web of Science, you can see all this different information from this network so that you can easily identify emerging trends and gaps. So when is this useful? When keyword to a topic is hard to define. Now, I think how many of you are from the library sciences? Library science, information science. Nobody. Library science, information science. Some of you are, some of you no. Which specialization? Shout out. Where's your specialization? Health? Pharmacy? Okay, pharmacy, I know. Pharmacy, let's say if you want to, pharmacy, I think if you're working on nutraceutical products, pharmaceutical products, you want to develop that one, okay? You want to identify the chemical compound. Let's say there's one chemical compound called epoximycin. You might want to know when it was first discovered, how it has been applied since its discovery. So was it used in anti-cancer, anti-tumor drugs? Was it a successful application or not? So through using the citation network, you can then see the changes and applications of that chemical compound. Now, another example is Internet of Things, IoT. Okay, anybody in computer science? No? No? Okay. If you're interested in IoT, it can be applied across a lot of different disciplines: agriculture, engineering, computer, everything. But very hard to define those keywords. So that's why it's always important to use keywords to discover first, and then pinpoint exactly what is the topic that you want to work on. All right? Clear, yeah? So now I want to explain about the Web of Science core collection. This part, you all stay awake, okay? The core collection is actually the heart of the Web of Science. So the Web of Science core collection includes information like the journals, conference proceedings, and books that are selected and curated by Web of Science editor. So we are the ones that select the content to be included on Web of Science core collection. Now, some of you, your lecturers or professors might tell you, oh, I only want you to publish in Q1 journal, Q2 journal. That Q is from Web of Science core collection. All right. So in the Web of Science core collection, there are 4 journal indexes, which are the Science Citation Index Expanded, Social Science Citation Index, Arts and Humanities Citation Index, and the Emerging Sources Citation Index. So 4 journal indexes. What is the difference between emerging sources and the others? Okay, it's because of how we select. So every journal that wants to be included in Web of Science have to go through evaluation. The number of criteria minimum they have to fulfill is 24 quality criteria. If they meet the 24 quality criteria, they will be included in ESCI first, Emerging Sources Citation Index. Once they meet an additional 4 more impact criteria, they will then be included into the specialized indexes. So that's the difference. Those that are in the specialized indexes will be more impactful than the ones in ESCI. But every journal in Web of Science is considered trusted source. Okay? Then you have the conference proceedings and the books that also have a similar evaluation criteria and process. So what makes Web of Science different is that we are publisher neutral. So Web of Science does not publish any journal. So when you're looking in Web of Science, you don't have the full text. Okay, so some of you are like, oh, cannot get full text. Then why I use Web of Science? Okay, the reason is because Web of Science pulls together all the multidiscipline research and it's abstract. So when you want to discover research, it allows you to quickly find what is relevant. If you want the full text, there is always a link to the full text. On Web of Science, up to 25% or so of the content is free to read. That means open access. So we also have open access journal inside, and these are all trusted open access journal and content. So if you want access to full text, there's always a link to the publisher's website to get the full text document. Okay, earlier on I mentioned about preprints, so I won't go through too much detail in the slides, but currently we have about 5 repositories that we cover. So I think some of you who are familiar with preprint will say, hey, I can go to all these websites to access preprint for free. Why I need to use Web of Science? The reason is because you are putting in the preprints into the Web of Science ecosystem. So you can see the different versions of the preprint. And finally, if the preprint was published in a journal indexed in Web of Science, you will link to the Web of Science core collection record. Okay? So for dissertations and thesis, the number of content that you have access to is 5.7 million records, okay, from over 4,000 different universities from over 60 countries. So to use this index later on, I will demonstrate to you. You just type in your keyword for a particular subject area, use a keyword search, and you'll be able to uncover some of these dissertations and theses. Okay, and then we have the grants index. Now, the Web of Science actually has a lot of other tools. So it's beyond just looking for content. All right. We have some analytical tools that allow you to look deeper at the search results that you might be able to find. So two of these are analyzed results and citation report. Now, analyzed results may be a bit small for all of you at the back to see, but analyzed results allow you to see who is publishing in this area of research in terms of researcher. Maybe you want to collaborate with them. It also allows you to identify what are the journals that publish in that particular research topic that you work on. So your research area might be very niche, very specific. So you can put in specific keywords into the search and then use the analyzed results to discover the journals that are most relevant for that topic area. You can also look at which funding agencies are funding this area of research. Now, citation reports is useful also. How many of you already have papers published in Web of Science? Okay, got one professor. Professor? Doctor? Okay, so you have already published an article in Web of Science. You might want to run some kind of report to see the citation performance of your papers. So the citation report allows you to see your publication over time and the citations that you have gotten. Okay. If any of you are curious to find out about WOS papers, you can also run this report for all of WOS published documents. Okay, these other two features also very useful. First one is the highly cited papers and the hot papers. I always call them the trophy and the fire. Why the trophy and the fire? Highly cited papers are the cream of the crop of publications. So these are papers that have enough citations that put them in the top 1% of their field. So if you start exploring the literature, this could be the first set of documents you definitely have to read. So you can easily filter to highly cited papers and hot papers. Now, what is hot paper? Hot papers are those more recently published, usually in the past 2 years, that have enough citations to put them in not 1%, top 0.1%. Okay, so those hot papers would tell you what is the trend of the research. Then we have usage count filters that are available based on date, citation counts, usage counts, all available for you. I talked about full text, so there is a link to full text on every record. So if it's a free open access document, you can definitely link out to the free full text from the publisher. If any of you can install a plugin for your web browser, you can install EndNote Click. All right. You don't have to use EndNote to use EndNote Click. Anybody can use EndNote Click. This, once you install, it will show you this link next to the record if there is a full text PDF available. So just one click, no need to search again. It gives you the full text PDF. Okay, very convenient. Now, open access is there. For most of you here, I think you're more concerned about which article free to read, right? So if that's the case, this first filter is the most important, all open access. So as long as you can filter to all open access, all those records have free full text. Okay? Now, we also recognize the fact that one search session is not enough. Sometimes you need to do multiple search. So we allow you to customize your data set. So imagine you can put bookmark on Web of Science. So you can create a mark list to store a set of documents separately. So some of you would like to use this to manage like a reference list. Okay, I hear some echo. Maybe you can off that microphone, see. Okay. All right. So here, by looking at the marked list, you can save up to 50 lists. Each list can save up to 50,000 records. And once you have saved the list, you can still use the analyzed results and the citation reports for that custom set of documents. Okay. But one thing, if you want to use this feature, you need to register for your own account, right? How many of you use EndNote online? How many of you, do you use RefWorks? No. Mendeley. Okay. Okay, it's okay. So if you use Mendeley and you want to export to Mendeley, the references, okay, you can use the export and choose the RIS option. So there is a RIS file that you can download, and that is the one that you can integrate, export into Mendeley. Okay. We have other export functions as well. So if you want to combine data sets, some of you do big data analysis and so on, you can actually export the data from Web of Science and integrate with your other data outside of the platform. So we have a plain text format and Excel format available. Okay, this one is the way that we classify our records. Is it from? Okay, too near, is it? Okay, so the next part is actually our research categorization. Our documents are categorized by 3 ways. Okay, first is by research area. So research areas are the way that we classify journals. So every journal is assigned to one subject category at least, right? Then they will follow this categorization. But sometimes now journals are very interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary. So if you want to pinpoint specific topics, that cannot be easily done with this category. That's why we introduced this other one called citation topic. So citation topic allows you to drill to very niche topic areas. For example, here we have engineering and material science as the broad category. But under engineering and material science, there is something called thermodynamics. And under thermodynamics, there's another subcategory called organic Rankine cycle. So from this, on every document, you can run a new search that would specify this specific citation topic. SDG, how many of you have to report on SDG? Do you all know what is SDG? Sustainable Development Goals. Okay, so SDG is a categorization by UN, United Nations. So a lot of corporate companies, universities, they are all reporting on their contribution to the SDG goals. Yeah, so we have 17 SDG goals altogether, and you can also see where those documents are assigned to a SDG goal. Okay. Okay, the rest I will demonstrate later on. All right. This one, I will also share the slides with the library. Am I talking to the mic too close? Okay, I will talk softer, okay? All right. Okay, for this part, I will leave the slides with the library later on, but I will demonstrate how you can claim your researcher profile if you already have documents in the Web of Science. Okay. Okay. So now all of you got laptop or not? No laptop. You have iPad or phone or, okay, as long as you connect to the network, you can go to webofscience.com and be able to browse the content on Web of Science. So accessing Web of Science is through either your library portal. So if you are off campus, you do off-campus access from the library website. Look for Web of Science. If you're on campus, as long as you're on the campus Wi-Fi, I think you should be able to access Web of Science directly. Okay. So once you go into Web of Science, this is how it looks like. Okay, for those of you who are online, if you have questions, you can type the questions in the chat as well. I think Bu Vivi will help me to monitor the questions, yeah? So to see what you have access to, you can definitely see document search and researcher search. Under the document search, if you look under search in, these are all the databases that you will have access to. So you have access to core collection, grants, Korean journal database, not K-pop, okay. Then preprint citation index, ProQuest dissertations and thesis citation index, and CLO. So what is this Korean journal database and what is this CLO citation index? These are regional focused journals. We actually also have another one, which is the Arabic citation index. So that is focused on those coming out from the Arabic countries, right? So for today, I will focus on Web of Science core collection, but this platform allows you to search across all the databases that you have access to at the same time. Okay, but if you click on all databases, you will notice that the number of fields that you can search is smaller compared to the individual databases. Okay, so let's go to core collection. If you go and look under editions, these are the years of content that you have access to. So you have 1970 onwards for most of the content. Okay. And you can then start to search all these different fields. All right. Now, first thing, if you want to look for a particular subject topic area, what is the best field to use? Is it all fields or topic? You want to use all fields or topic? Which one better? If you want to look for topic. So you want to put in a keyword like artificial intelligence. Which one will be better? Or you want to put in green technology. Which one is better? Use topic. Okay, use topic. The reason is because the topic search will just show you documents that have the keywords appearing in the title, the abstract, keywords by the authors and our system. All right. If you use all fields, it basically searches everything, including the affiliation title, affiliation name, the author's name. So if anybody is called Bob Green and you type in green technology, Bob Green's paper might not be about green technology. It will still come out as a result. Okay. So let's start with a topic search. Let's look at ICT. So I put in this very long search string. So the reason why I'm showing this is because I want to let you know that we can put in all these different connectors. Okay, so these connectors and this wildcard, this quotation mark, do y'all know what it is for? Yes or no? Don't know. Okay, this one I think need to have the information search literacy course. Okay, but this allows you to say, oh, I only want to find papers that have the word information and communication technologies, everything. So the wildcard is to say anything after that is IES or Y. Yeah. Quotation means I want this exact same phrase. Okay. And also ICT. All right. So you can use all these connectors to build a more precise search if you want to. You can also add another row and add connectors here and put in maybe publication year. All right, so I put in 2010 to 2024 and search. So now I have my 3,000 plus documents that talk about information and communication technology and ICT. Okay. Now, we also use AI to generate additional keywords that you can put in. So say, for example, here, I want to put in specific ones for ICT. I browse through to see whether there's anything else, education technology, okay? So you can continue to add, like must include, okay? And search. And then it reduces the results to just 3. Okay, so that's how I talk about casting that wide net and then using some of these things to filter down to precise documents, right? Okay, so let me just remove some of this and start another search to show you. I'm going to put in hydrogen energy under topic search. And I want to put in publication year 2010, 2024. Okay, so these are my hydrogen energy papers. I can choose to add more keywords if I want to, but for now I don't want. I want to use the filters. So on the left-hand side, you see those highly cited papers. So you can limit to those and refine. And these are the papers that you definitely must read if you're working on this area of research. All right. If you want to see which institutions are working on this area of research that are highly cited, you can then use analyze results. And you can see the researchers. So there's a researcher profile option. These are the researchers that are working on hydrogen energy that are highly cited. Okay. So you can click and view their records. And on every single record, there is a corresponding author. So you can actually email the researcher to discuss also. All right. Now, if you are publishing in, if you are researching on hydrogen energy, where should you publish? You can also look at publication titles. So these are the journals in Web of Science that you can submit to based on your topic search. Okay. Okay. Next, I will look for a chemical compound. Some of you are in pharmacy and health sciences, so I'll show you some examples from there. Okay. So now I'm looking for a chemical compound called epoxamycin. There are only 369. Okay. I can sort this list by relevance. And I'll be able to see details about this article. Okay, so from this record, you can explore the citation network. So the citation network is on the right-hand side, and you can see the references used. So these are under cited references. So if you click on this 24, it will bring you down to the reference list. So what is different for this article's reference list on Web of Science compared to what you see on the full text? What's the difference? Can you all see? If you see the article as a PDF, the reference list will just be listed as a article title, right? In Web of Science, you see the corresponding citation count. So you can see the importance of each of these references. Okay, I'm going to pause here. Any questions?
Para audiensi jika ingin bertanya dalam bahasa Indonesia, tidak apa-apa, nanti akan saya bantu terjemahkan jika ada pertanyaan sampai sesi ini.
Did I go too fast?
No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Julian, I want to ask, but I'm
Sedih, Pak.
in bahasa, okay?
Can
Tolong
let
bantuin
Movie
ya.
will translate for me. It's okay.
Nama dan bisa dibantu
Oke.
untuk nama dari mana?
Ya, nama saya Novi, saya dari Perpustakaan UNER, librarian. Yang ingin saya tanyakan, Julian, apa bedanya kita melakukan pencarian begini, kita melakukan pencarian by topik ya. Tadi Julian sudah mempraktekkan. Kemudian setelah ada result, itu ada quick add keyword. Nah, quick add keyword ini ada tiga bahkan. Ada should include, must include, and not. Nah, what is different? And then I think apakah itu kemudian mempersempit hasil pencarian? Kenapa kalau itu mempersempit tidak kita gunakan saja? Di awal pencarian kita gunakan and atau or maybe. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Or you already understand?
I assume.
Okay. So the question's like this: what the difference when you do the searching with keywords, right? And after the result come, there are a keyword like must include, not include, and should include. What the difference? Why don't use that since the first when we trying to find keywords?
Okay. So this is because of the way that we develop the AI suggestion. So this one, the should include, must include, do not include. Should include means that it doesn't really have to be there, but it's an additional keyword that we also want to include as the search result. Must include means that the document that you give me as a result must have this one, must have proteasome inhibition plus epoxamycin. So must have. If don't have these two, don't show me. Okay. Then do not include means to exclude the documents. So it's similar to the and or not. Okay. So that's why for now, this is because of the way that we develop this AI suggestion to tell people the difference between the connectors that we use without the AI suggestion and with the AI suggestion.
So if without AI suggestions, we can
And or
manually and or not.
Yeah.
And with this new AI feature, they provide information must include, should include, like that.
Yeah.
Is it clear, Bu Novi? Jadi kalau misalnya pencarian di awal menggunakan and, sebetulnya must include, should include itu seperti melakukan pencarian boolean operator di awal seperti and or not. Tapi dengan adanya AI, pencariannya digunakan kata fiturnya menjadi must include, should include, seperti itu. Dan tentunya fungsinya untuk mempersempit pencarian.
Oke. Saya pernah mencoba beberapa pencarian begitu. Kemudian saya mencoba untuk quick add keyword gitu. Saya sudah memfilternya waktu di awal pencarian, Mbak Wiwi. Tapi ternyata ketika saya gunakan quick add keyword, semakin meluas lagi gitu. Sebenarnya konsep yang ditambahkan oleh WOS di fitur quick add keyword itu sebenarnya fungsinya itu untuk apa? Lebih untuk memberikan suggestion keyword, another keyword yang sudah kita masukkan atau apa begitu. Karena ketika saya cari kok semakin ini ya confused begitu.
The question is, there are feature add keyword, right? When she add more keyword, the result it's wider, more than before. So she confused because she want to make it more small, but it turned out have more options. So what the functions itself from add keyword?
Okay. For that case, I think if you can remember the search that you did, maybe you screenshot. I'll give you my email address, and then you send your example to me. I will check with our product team to find out why there's more result. Okay? Yeah.
Ya, nanti dikirim email aja nggih, nanti kita akan bantu carikan penyebab apa kenapa bisa terjadi seperti itu. I have questions, Julian, for myself.
Cannot.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. No, it's okay. Before you suggest us when we do search by keywords, and we should prioritize the must type paper and hot paper. But I do research by myself before when you explain, but I cannot find any most cite paper, even the result like this, 267, but no option most cited paper or hot paper. Which article I should choose if this condition?
Okay, let me replicate what you searched.
I
Sharia management. Management.
random check.
So it just happened to be this particular topic has no highly cited paper and no hot paper. Okay, there are certain topics that are very specific that might not have, because when we look at the highly cited papers, it's based on where this article is categorized. So say, for example, this one is under the category of business and economics. Yeah, it's a very broad category. So when we calculate the highly cited papers, we only take the top 1%. So there are other papers that are more highly cited compared to this specific set from Sharia management. Okay, but earlier on, when you were looking at other topics, there was highly cited papers. So even things like information, ICT, there is a highly cited paper filter already. Okay, if any of you, when you're online and you can't see this highly cited papers logo on anything that you search, contact us, and then we can guide you on how to make sure that you get access. Okay, but once you are online in the campus, this should be visible for all of you, even without signing in. All right. Okay, so the next thing that I will show you is the mark list. So in order to use some of the personalization features that we have on Web of Science, you need to register for your own account. So to register for your own account, just click on register on the top right. Register with your own institutional email so that we can recognize you, or the email that you frequently publish with. So if you came from another institution, but you publish papers in the other institution, you can use you can add that email later on. Okay, but for now, just use your institutional email to activate.
Maybe I can add more information. Jadi Bapak Ibu sekalian yang saat ini terhubung dengan Wi-Fi bisa melakukan register di tadi yang sudah ditampilkan oleh Julin. Nah, nanti menggunakan email uner.ac.id. Setelah itu nanti bisa mengakses. Sebetulnya bagi para sivitas warga di UNER itu punya akses VPN sendiri kan, jadi sudah otomatis bisa akses. Tapi kalau misalnya mau register langsung, itu juga bisa melalui register personal account seperti ini, dan ini nanti email dan passwordnya itu bisa digunakan di luar akses jaringan dan harus diperbarui setiap 6 bulan sekali. Ya, itu tambahan informasinya saja.
Okay. The other thing that you can check to make sure that you have the correct access is on the home page at the bottom, you would see Universitas Alangga. Okay. So once you register, you sign in, you can then start to use all the personalization features like safe search, the alerts, citation alert, new paper alert, and also your own profile. So you will have your own researcher profile once you've registered. And your profile can be something like this. So you click on my profile. Mine will be 0 lah, because I never publish anything. Okay, but got my nice picture down there from many, many years ago. But you will see your documents. You can also include peer review. So if you peer review for journals, you can also include that in your profile. And you will also then have your comprehensive metrics. Okay, I'll show you an example from UNER. So you can do a researcher search. And I know Effendi. Oops. Okay. So this is a claim profile by Dr. Ferry. Okay, with 12 publications here. Actually, it's just one F lah. Sorry. Yeah, this one. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong F1D. Okay, so this Pak Ferry, these are the details that he can put in. So you can put in a picture, you can put in ORCID ID. Do you all have ORCID ID? Some yes, some no. Okay, you can link and synchronize. So anything you update on ORCID, you can export into Web of Science. Okay. Then you will see all your publication. You can also put non-Web of Science publication inside. So if it's not indexed in Web of Science, you can still be there, but it will classify under non-index publication. Peer review. So we will show the list of journals that you peer reviewed for. Okay. And editor records can also be included. On the right-hand side, you would see your metrics. So total publication number is 201. You can see his H index. Core collection documents is 108. Okay. And then there's this special chart called author impact beam plot. So overall, this is the performance of all his papers. He is always performing at the 66th percentile of his field. Okay. We also have the author position filter. So you can show first author, last author, corresponding author. And you can see a dashboard. This dashboard will show you the full beam plot. So if you click on, just put your mouse over any of these dots, these are the publications and the respective performance in that year. Then we have the geographic citation map to see which countries are citing his papers and drill down to which organization and which paper. Okay, so you can click through this one, University Health and Allied Science. This article cited Dr. Ferry. Okay. All right. So to maintain your profile, there's a menu on the left under researcher profile. You can add publications from here. So you can just click add and this circle will run. It's basically looking at your email addresses to match your publication. So if you have more than one email that you publish with, this is where you add your email addresses. Okay. All right, so that's the author search and researcher profiles. The other thing, final few things that I want to show you before we go into journal citation reports is cited reference search. To make your literature search more comprehensive, you might want to search the reference list of documents indexed in Web of Science. Okay, so to give you an example, you can look for things like policy documents, maybe standards. So if there are certain standards documents that you wonder whether has been cited by other research articles, okay, that means non-traditional research documents. You can search under cited references. So say, for example, if you work in literature, okay, humanities, maybe you can look for an artwork, Mona Lisa. You can look for a song if you're looking in music. You can look for the Quran, okay, if you're doing Islamic studies. Okay, so I'm going to use this as example. So Web of Science does not index the Quran, yeah, but you can search to see whether there's any research that has cited the Quran. So you can just put in cited work Quran. And you see there are 431 cited references found. So which are the articles that cited? Okay. I select everything and see the result. So these are the 667 articles on Web of Science core collection that have talked about the Quran. Okay. So the cited reference search can be quite useful to make sure that you cover all your search comprehensively, especially if you're working on certain research topics that have things like clinical studies and so on that you want to see whether has been referenced in any research. That's where you use cited reference search. Okay. Okay. Final one that I'll share with you is combining search results. Okay. So combining search results can be done under advanced search. And if any of you need practice or guidance on how to use Boolean connectors, this is where you can start to build your search yourself. Okay. So let's say information, add to query. I can choose the field, add, and then it will put this into a very nice Boolean search kind of format. And then I want to put in additional one, year published, and put the connector and then it will formulate for me the search string. Okay. So that's one. To combine search results, okay, you do it here under your session query. So when you have done a search, multiple searches during this session, okay, you will see all the searches here and the corresponding results. So if I want to know whether Universitas Airlangga has published something, okay, I can do another search here for affiliation. Okay. You can use affiliation search to search for Universitas Airlangga. AIRLAN. So it's under Airlangga University. Add to query and then search. All right, so there's 11,000 publications from UNAIR on Web of Science core collection. All right, so now I want to combine this search with another search. So I go back to advanced search. I should see this search here. I will select Airlangga University and this one. Okay, and combine the set with N. And it will tell me whether I have any results or no results. So if there's no results, means that there's no papers from Airlangga that talk about that topic. Okay, maybe we can look at hydrogen energy and Universitas Airlangga. So there are 29 papers. So you can click on this 29, and this would be the papers from UNAIR that talk about hydrogen energy. Okay. How are we with time? Okay. I'm okay. All right. What else was there? Okay. The other thing that I haven't showed you is the citation report. So how are these papers performing? So let's say this 29 hydrogen papers from Airlangga. You want to click create a citation report. Okay. From here, you can then see the publication over time, the citations, and the individual paper citations each year. Everything can be exported. If you want to know who is citing your paper, look under citing articles without self-citation. You can click on analyze. And these are the people or affiliations that are citing you. So other Airlangga University papers are citing that set of 24 papers. You have citations coming from UKM also, and the full list is here. Okay. So potentially this can be useful to reach out for collaboration also, because they heard of your research. So they know you, they've used your research. So potentially you can reach out to them. Okay. So now we have a little bit of time for Web of Science. Any of you have topics that you want me to help you to find? Now it's a special request time. This is also my most nervous time. Anybody? Sorry? Archive. Archive in what sense? Archive of what? Okay. Using AI technology for archiving. Okay. So let's see whether we can find. You're challenging me. Okay, archiving and what was the other one? AI, artificial intelligence. We'll start with this one first. Archive and artificial intelligence as a topic. So there are 631 papers. Okay. And to see whether these are all related or if there's a specific field area of study, you can use the analyze results and look under citation topics. So this set of results have things around information and library sciences. So I assume that would be what you are specifically looking at, anything that is related to information and library science. Okay, so you can select that and limit to those result set. So these are the 32 publications that are talking about archiving in relation to library sciences that adopt artificial intelligence. Okay, so can you all see how potentially you can try and get the more precise search right now? Okay, and it's quite quick, right? All right, so I'll show you again. Do you need me to show you again? Okay, start with your keywords first, but you must think about how you want to phrase it. If I put in separately artificial and separately intelligence without the quotation, if any text along the abstract talk about intelligence, but without artificial, it will come out also. Yeah. So I want it to specifically talk about artificial intelligence. That's why I put in the quotation mark. I put in the asterisk wildcard because I want to also include those that say archive without the S and archives. So that's why I put in the wildcard. Yeah. So once I put that in, I click on search. I get this number of results. I want something specific to library sciences. So that's why I use the analyze results to see if there's any papers that are in that area. Okay, so I use citation topics meso because that's the second level of topic classification that is still broad enough to get more results. So there is one for information and library science. I can look at that one specifically and refine the search result. So now I have my 32 papers. All right. If you want to share this search with anybody, there's a copy query link, and I'm going to put this into the chat. And you can click on that to do the search. Exact search that I've just done. Okay.
There are one questions from chat box.
Yes.
About sent by personal. She say, hello, my name is Yasmin from Library Information Science. I want to ask about the collections in Web of Science. Is this WOS search engine only shows for WOS collections, or they can provide it from another scientific journal platform? Because it's good when we see broader results.
That's a very good question. So what you see on Web of Science is only those that are indexed in the Web of Science, but it includes many different publishers. So it will include all the major publishers' content, but prerequisite is that they have met our quality criteria. The challenge of doing broader search, like if you want to use Google Scholar and all that to do a search for anything under the sun, is fine. But question is, do you know how to determine whether the publication is a trusted source? That is the other question, because there's no curation. For Web of Science, it is curated based on quality. It's also curated based on what is most important for enhancing the research knowledge of the Web of Science users. Yeah. So I do understand that the more the merrier, but there's also pros and cons to having too much information. Yeah. Okay. So I hope that answers that question. Otherwise, you can always ask a follow-up question. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So I think that should be all. Should we take further questions for Web of Science first, or move to journal citation reports?
Yeah, maybe we can start Q&A for Web of Science season now, and then after that CGR.
Okay.
Ya, Bapak Ibu masih ada pertanyaan lagi terkait tadi Web of Science. Mungkin sudah ada yang mencoba di laptop perangkatnya masing-masing dan ada kendala atau yang ada yang ingin ditanya, bisa ditanyakan atau apapun terkait Web of Science. Mumpung lagi ada speakernya langsung dari tim Clarified Web of Science, jadi bisa langsung dijawab.
Yes.
Ya, Ibu silahkan.
Ada microphone for question.
It seems that the most curated database for like a journal, because my field is medical science, can we say that even Web of Science is better than PubMed? Or like for the Scopus, I think that several journals that are included in a Scopus, in fact, they are not included in the Web of Science.
Yes.
Can I conclude that? Or it seems that it's more trusted. I know it's kind of funny question because you are from Web of Science.
Yeah.
But I just see here that the number of publications in Web of Science is much less than the one in Scopus. But in my what we call in UNAIR, it seems that we use quartile criteria, just so simply that it's Q1, Q2. So how about the Web of Science? How can we just simply rank out the journal? Thank you.
Okay. So
Ibu maaf, dengan siapa? Dari mana?
Sorry for not introducing my name. I'm Nurina.
Marina.
I'm from Faculty of Medicine.
Baik. Terima kasih Bu Marina.
Yeah. So your question is in terms of the content, which one will be better to use, right? At the end of the day, my advice is always to use trusted databases. So we won't limit you to use just Web of Science. We are not saying that just use Web of Science, but we are advocating that you need to make sure that whatever platform that you're using has done some kind of curation to make sure that what they index is trusted. So the criteria that we use to index our content can be very different from other databases as well. So like PubMed, they will have everything a lot more. Scopus also has their own criteria that includes other content. Okay, but we each have our own curation. There are also journals in Web of Science that is not in Scopus. Yeah, so it's always useful to use multi-databases to search more comprehensively, but make sure that it's trusted and curated. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Because I also encountered several, one or two journals that is included in Scopus database. In fact, it is listed in the like kind of predatory journals bills list. So can you kind of ascertain us that it won't happen in Web of Science?
I cannot give you 100% guarantee, but I can give you 99% guarantee. Okay. Okay. So, but one thing we have changed in the way that we have included journals is we used AI to detect anomalies, outlier kind of journals that have questionable publishing behavior. So we did that since early last year. So early last year, we flagged out almost 300 or 400 journals to re-evaluate. And after re-evaluation, we actually delisted, that means removed from Web of Science, over 50 journals. So we have already committed to a lot of efforts to use a fine-tooth comb to go through all the journals in Web of Science. So what you see in Web of Science will already be trusted. So what we do is we have a white list rather than a black list of journals. So when you look for journals to publish in, you can rely on Web of Science and journal citation reports, because we've already done that curation and it's constant monitoring, not just now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, any other questions? Otherwise, we will move to journal citation reports first.
I think we can move because of the time.
Okay.
Already more than 16 minutes.
Sure. Just final few things. If you need more help, like today, tak faham saya, okay? Saya cakap tak boleh, okay? There's a resource center here with the question mark. There's a training portal, and there is a guide. So this one is like a self-guided course. So anytime you can go in, enroll, you can stop anytime and come back. All right. So feel free to use this as your training source. Then there is also a online help. So if you need to contact us, either you send an email to our support team, which I will type into the chat later on at the end of the session. But you can also submit a query for data corrections and so on from the website. Okay, so let me go to JCR. Okay, now, just now for Web of Science, I gave you an overview of how to find literature, to find information. Now, it's about where to publish. Okay, how at the moment, how do you all choose which journal to publish in? I asked my professor. My professor will give me a list to choose. Is it? Yes? Or I ask my friend, where you publish? Okay. But there's also some guidelines from the university. Am I right? So the university will probably give you some guideline on where to publish, or you can reach out to your library. Your library can also give you suggestions, right? What I'm going to share with you today is something extra, because on journal citation reports, you can see a lot more metrics to give you idea of things like what kind of content is published in this journal. Is it close to what I am trying to publish? Is this journal publishing more of articles, original research articles, or reviews only? Because your manuscript type also different, right? Yeah. So all these are just examples of indicators that are available on journal citation reports that can help guide your decision making. Because how many of you here were rejected by journals before? Sure have, right? Have lah. No need to shy. Yeah. Okay. It's part and parcel of research life. Okay. But what we want to do is to reduce the number of rejection so that you already aim for the correct kind of journals, and they are rejecting you basically because of topics and so on. Okay. So not because of very simple reasons, because you would waste time in queuing up to a journal that is not exactly suitable for your manuscript. All right. So just giving you some ideas of numbers. Okay, there are over 30,000 scholarly journals globally now, and it's rising every single day. What happens now is that in each specialization, for example, you could be looking at thousands, at least 1,000 journals per specialization. So the challenge for all of you would be where to publish, which one to choose, which one better. Yeah. For the library, the challenge is how do I subscribe to everything? I cannot subscribe to everything. How to choose the best one, right? So you want to use resources to guide you on that. Now then we drill into predatory publishing. Out of all these 30,000 plus journals, we are seeing really large numbers of increase in predatory journals over time. This number was 4 years ago. Okay, now it's, I think, even higher. So it's across all specializations from health, maths, physical science, chemical science, economics, biology. Nobody can run away from predatory publishing. But what we want to do is try to avoid stepping into those holes. Yeah. So you could use tools out there, like thinkchecksubmit.org, that will give you some kind of guideline on how to screen for predatory publishing. Some of you will say, can I use Bill's list? Bill's list, right? But Bill's list is not updated anymore. It's no longer in use. So for us at Web of Science, we don't believe in putting blacklists, but rather we curate constantly to make sure that what we reflect is a whitelist. Okay. So if you don't want to use JCR, you want to do it yourself. Okay. This is a very simple checklist for you when you want to aim for a journal to publish in. First thing, do you or your colleagues know the journal? Quite simple, but sometimes when you are pressed for time to publish, all rationale thoughts go out the window, right? You go like, oh, this journal says I can publish in 2 weeks. Ah, yeah, I need to publish within that time frame, within 1 month. Okay, I submit without thinking. Yeah, then what happens? Is there any law to protect you once you publish your article in a predatory journal? No law, right? But there's a law to protect that journal because your copyright now becomes the journal's one. So your research gone. So can you imagine you spend 6 months doing your research, and because you submitted and published in a predatory journal or a journal that is not recognized, then all your effort wasted. So I always say, please check the journal. Okay. Next, can you easily identify and contact the publisher? Quite simple, right? Yeah. But sometimes there are some open access journals, smaller journals that don't really have a very reliable contact point. So you need to just double check that the contact details are there, it is contactable, and so on before you submit. Is the journal clear about the type of peer review it uses? All research has to go through peer review. There are different types of peer review. There's single blind, double blind, and now there's also open peer review. Okay. Make sure they state what type of peer review they use. Are articles indexed in services that you use? So I'm not talking about Google Scholar. Google Scholar has everything. But what I'm talking about is databases that have curated the content. Okay. So for example, Web of Science and other reliable databases. Is it clear what fees will be charged? Okay. There are certain journals, open access journals especially, that charge something called article processing charge, APC. It can start from very low, 50 USD, all the way to 4,000, 5,000 USD. Who is paying for that? You. You have to pay the journal to publish in that journal. So that is what most open access journals do. There are certain open access journals like UNAIR, you have a lot of open access journal. Okay, most of them don't require APC charges. But there are certain established open access journals. They do ask for APC. Okay, if you can fork out from grants, well and good. But most of the time, the researcher always have to find their own resource to fund the APC. Okay, so make sure that the journal dictates how much is the APC charge, and also whether there's additional charges, like especially in healthcare. if you use high-res photo, sometimes they charge extra. If you want to print color, also charge extra. Make sure they dictate and state in their website all these different costs. Do you recognize the editorial board members? Now, we talked about 30,000 plus journals just now, right? So can you imagine all of them are fighting for attention? They're fighting for attention from authors like yourself. So how to attract authors like yourself? I put Nobel laureates as my editorial team. I put highly cited researchers as my editorial team. Then you go like, wow, got Nobel laureate in this editorial team. Must be very good journal. Huh? But sometimes it's fake. So always check and verify. How to check? Just do a quick search. If this individual stated on the journal website is from this university, go to the university website, check that that person is really from that university, check the person's profile on ORCID, on Web of Science to see whether he state that he is an editorial board member of that journal. So basically become a Sherlock Holmes for yourself lah. Okay, and do some investigation. Next, is the publisher a member of a recognized industry initiative? Okay. Okay, so is it a recognized industry initiative? So publisher, not the journal. So most of the major publishers like Elsevier, Taylor and Francis, Wiley, they are part of the COPE, Committee on Publication Ethics. On the journal websites, make sure that you see statements about how they deal with publication ethics and research ethics. Okay? Nowadays, publication ethics should also include mention about how authors are using AI. So there should be some kind of guidance on whether you can use AI for paraphrasing, not copy paste, paraphrasing. So all these has to be stated on the website. Okay. So long list, right? Then some of you would say, wow, I got no time to go and check all these things. I got so much work to do for my research. You ask me to do all this, no time. Yeah. So that is why you use resources that already did these checks. So this is a list of criteria that Web of Science uses to select journals. Okay. Some of these here, like presence of peer review policy, website function, timeliness, editorial affiliation, author affiliation, all these are things that we check, which is similar to what I just showed you in terms of the checklist, right? So this already done by our team, and they are the experts that do this every single day. So you should be able to rely on the efforts of these editors. Okay. Okay, for today, I'm sharing with you some strategies to identify journals. I have 5. Right? The first strategy, how many of you have not published yet? How many of you have not published articles yet? Or published before yet? Okay, a few. Okay, so it's a bit like learning how to swim. You don't throw yourself into the deep end of the pool first. Yeah, start somewhere easier. So you might have your government accredited journals, or even UNAIR, you have your own journals to start with. So you can start from publishing there. Okay. Then if you publish one paper already, you feel, hey, I think I got confidence. I will go for international recognition. So these are what? Journals that are in databases like Web of Science, okay, where there is international visibility from researchers around the world. Okay. Then you have, I want to publish in high rank and prestige. So these are journals that have quartiles and ranks in their subject specialization. The last two, sometimes you don't really consider. Aim for journals that get cited very quickly. Okay, how many of you still want to continue in research after you graduate? Okay, 1. Usually 2, okay, a few. Usually minority. But imagine before you graduate, once you publish already, Before you even graduate, you get your first citation in your paper. Good for your CV, you know. Good, right? Yeah. So within JCR, we have this indicator called immediacy index that measures how quickly an article will get its first citation in the first year of publication. So if their immediacy index is higher, it means that if you get published in that journal, potentially you will get your citations faster. Okay. For those of you who are already in research, faculty members, lecturers, your KPI is always about citation count, publication. So you want to be able to identify journals that get cited for a long time. But of course, it depends on the specialization. Certain specialization, the duration of citation very short. Okay. But overall, you can use this metric called cited half-life to see how old, okay, how old the article is that is still being cited today. That means if I see something that was published 10 years ago, still cited today in this journal, that means the cited half-life is 10 years. Okay, so I'm not talking about nuclear waste. Okay, this is article longevity of citations. So these 5 strategies should help you to guide you on what you should be aiming for. Okay, the next part I wanted to share is about Web of Science journals. Some of you will say, oh, you keep telling me to publish in Web of Science journals. How do I find the list of journals? Okay, you can use our master journal list to immediately find what is currently indexed in the Web of Science. Okay, it's a free website. I think we will type into the chat as well. It's mjl.clarivate.com. And on this website, you will see the latest list of all journals in the Web of Science. It is updated each month. So every month we do index new journals in Web of Science. Okay. You can also download a list of those journals that were newly added each month from the download section. And you can see the list of journals that were removed, accepted, or ceased. Okay. For journals that are removed, there are usually 2 reasons: editorial delisting and production delisting. Because of our constant curation, if the journal no longer meets our criteria, sorry, bye-bye. They get kicked out of Web of Science. Okay. Some journals, wow, had production for a while, and then suddenly they not enough money, they stop. Then there's no new content coming to us. So we will also remove them. Okay. Then we have journals that have changed titles, ceased, and so on. Those are also reasons for those changes. Why am I showing you master journal list? Because master journal list will show you the latest titles. Journal citation reports is only a snapshot of journals that were indexed in the prior year, because we use that to calculate metrics. So it has to have a cutoff. So any new journals are indexed in Web of Science in this year, say January, February, March 2024, their appearance in JCR will be next year. So sometimes when you're seeing a journal, you say, hey, this journal say that it's in Web of Science, but I can see it in Web of Science, but I cannot see it in JCR. Why? Because they are newly added to Web of Science. So that's why not in JCR yet. Okay, so if you want the latest list, look at master journal list. If you want information about the journal in more detail, then you use JCR. Clear? Okay, then when you are on master journal list, sometimes you see this on hold label next to the journal. This means that this journal has been flagged out for re-evaluation. That means any new content will not be included until they pass the re-evaluation. All right. Okay, so that's master journal list. Now I'll go into JCR, journal citation reports. So as I mentioned just now, journal citation reports is used for you to know more about the journal before you submit your manuscript. Okay, within the journal citation reports, it includes different metrics like the journal impact factor, journal citation indicator, immediacy index, cited half-life, citing half-life, okay? All these are available on the journal citation reports. Okay. So just to give you an idea of what's the difference between journal impact factor and our other indicator called journal citation indicator. The journal impact factor is well known. Everybody knows the journal impact factor, yeah? But it only takes into consideration citations of 1 year. So if that journal performed very well in citations for that year, usually their journal impact factor very high. So this happened in the time of COVID. So certain medical journals that focus a lot on talking about COVID and the coronavirus and all that, you saw spike in their citation performance, and therefore their journal impact factor for those years very high. But now, if you see, it goes down. So because of this, the journal impact factor is not a very consistent metric to see the overall performance of the journal over time. That is why we introduced this new indicator called journal citation indicator, so that you can immediately see how well they're performing based on their subject specialization. So we take the journal citation indicator takes the 4 years citations to 3 years content. And how do you read JCI? Any number that is 1.0, JCI 1.0 is world average. If the journal has a JCI of 1.5, it means that it's performing 1.5 times better than the others in the same field. If it's below 1, it is performing below average. So very easy to understand JCI. Journal impact factor, on the other hand, is determined by subject specialization itself. So let's say I said journal from veterinary science has a journal impact factor of 50. A journal in business has a journal impact factor of 20. Okay, which journal is better? No, not the 51. Okay, because the 50 is subject to the list in that veterinary science category only. You cannot use that to compare with the business journal, because the business journal citation behavior is different. So usually overall journal impact factor in the business subject category is lower. So the journal impact factor cannot be used to compare across the discipline. JCI can. Okay, so that's the difference between the two metrics. Okay, so what's new in this year's journal citation reports? We have 21,848 journals, okay, that are included this year. It is a fixed number, as I mentioned, because it's a snapshot in time of all the journals up to end of 2023. The report is usually released every year in June. This year, we have introduced, actually since last year we introduced the journal impact factor to ESCI and AHCI journals. So all journals now have a journal impact factor. So as long as the journal has a journal impact factor, it is a trusted journal. Okay. This year, we have consolidated subject categories. In previous times, we had multiple subject categories in different editions. So it creates some confusion for researchers. What we've done now is to consolidate into one subject category for all specialization or all indexes. Okay. So what is the difference? If you see here in the past, this is what happened below. So this journal is in public and environmental and occupational health, in SCIE and SSCI, two different indexes. Now this year is only one subject category, one rank, one quartile. Okay. Okay, so now, sorry, just now I almost show you the question. First, I will show you the website. So to access the journal citation reports, if you're on Web of Science, you can easily just click on product, go to journal citation report. Okay. You don't have to sign in to access, but if you want to personalize, like add favorites list and so on, you need to register or use the Web of Science account if you registered just now. Okay. Now, first thing, you might all want to know what journals, you need to do some verification. So sometimes you want to check whether a journal is in JCR. You can just simply type in the journal name. Journal. Okay, so let's say this journal. If the name is exactly there, it means this journal is in Web of Science, it is in JCR, and it has a journal impact factor. So you can click through and open up what we call the journal's profile. So every journal in JCR has their own journal profile page, and you can see the latest JCR year. Even though this year the report is 2024, the data is 2023. So 2023 is always the latest. If you see any journal that only show up to year 2020, okay, no 2023, that means it had a journal impact factor back in 2020, but not now. Now, no journal impact factor. Okay. So let me go back to 2023 data, show you. So here you can see the ISSN. So you can use this to double check on the journal's website that you're submitting to. Make sure it's the same ISSN. Check the publisher details, the publication frequency. Can I check with all of you? Do you all consider publication frequency when you submit your article? I see some nod, some blur. Why? Okay, publication frequency is the number of times a journal publishes an issue. Okay. How many years do you have at UNAIR? 4 years. Within these 4 years, must publish how many articles? 1. Oh, not bad, 1 only. But some universities have to publish more. Okay. So what happens is that if, let's say if you don't check the publication frequency, if the journal only publishes 1 issue a year, then how? You have to join the queue to make sure your manuscript is in queue to go through the journal processing. And then by the time come to the editor's desk, kena rejected, then how? You have to find another journal to re-queue. So wasted time. So for postgrads or for postgrad students that have limited number of years in school, I will always recommend you to look for at least 4 publication issues a year. 4 issues a year should be quite safe. Okay, but you have to remember the time needed for processing varies by publisher. So some of the journals will tell you rough timeline, but usually takes at least 3 months to get to the editor's desk and get a decision, minimum. And then you still have another few months for peer review. So maybe about 6 months at least. But I've heard researchers tell me, no, sometimes 1 year. All right. So just take note, always take note of publication frequency before you decide where to publish. Okay, then if you scroll down, you have your journal impact factor. If anybody want to know the formula, don't worry, later the pop quiz is not about the formula. Okay, you can see how it was calculated. Right? What is important is this one. If let's say your professor tell you, publish in International Journal of Hydrogen Energy, how many of you actually go and read the journal? Nobody read. So you just follow. Please read the journal. Okay? You want to know what the journal is publishing, whether your topic suit the journal or not. That is also very important. The aims and scopes of the journal. Okay? you can use this contributing items list to see what has been published by the journal. If you want to see the details like the abstract, you can always click through and view in the Web of Science and then go to the full text. Right? So now no more excuses, must read the journal, okay? Okay. Browse also can, look at the abstract also can, but you need to understand what they are publishing. Okay. The other thing that you could look at, the JCI. So this journal has a JCI of 1.16. It is performing 1.16 times better than the others in the same field. And then you have your citation distribution. So some journals publish both articles and reviews, some mainly articles, and some other letters, editorial letters and review letters and so on. This will show you what type of content gets cited more. Okay. Open access, this will tell you whether this journal is open access or not. If it's not, if it's mainly for subscribed, so mostly gray, it probably means that you don't really, I don't think you will need to pay APC. All right. So that means you don't have to pay to publish. If you see a lot of gold, then potentially there is a APC charge. There might be an APC charge. Okay. Then you have the ranking. So if you talk about your university saying publish only in Q1, Q2, this is the quartile and the ranking. Right. And then the cited half-life. Just now I talked about cited half-life, remember? Okay. So this one is 4.6 years. It means that articles published 4.6 years ago is still being cited today in this journal. So that shows you the longevity of the citation. Okay. Just now, I also asked you whether you were rejected by journals before. Okay. Sometimes some journals very nice. They will tell you, oh, you might want to submit your manuscript to these other journals. Some not so nice. Just say thank you very much. Try elsewhere. Okay. If that happens, you can always use this journal citation relationship wheel to show the citation relationship of the original journal that you tried to publish in with others. If they have more citation relationship, maybe the content is fairly similar. Okay, but you always have to go in and see the exact aims and scopes to further determine whether it is a suitable journal. All right, so this becomes your option 1, option 2, option 3. Okay. This one also very important. If you are writing an original article, you don't go to the journal that only publish review. If you are writing a review paper, don't go to a journal that only publishes original research article. So that's why the source data is very important. In JCR, the journal impact factor is calculated based on citable items. Citable items are here and it's comprised of articles and reviews only. So article plus review equals this number. So out of this total number, this journal publishes 4,585 original articles, but only 247 reviews. So we are talking about maybe about 90% of original articles. So if you're writing a review paper, maybe you will be up for a lot of competition. Okay, so this might not be a very suitable home in terms of your manuscript type. So that is one thing that I want all of you to consider as well. Manuscript type matching to the correct journal. And then you have your contributions by country. Okay, contributions by country also important. Shows details about the scope of the journal. Some journals very UK-centric, some are US-centric, some include Southeast Asia countries, regional focus. So this contribution list shows you which countries contribute most to the content. So if you see a lot of UK, US, but not so much on Southeast Asia countries, then maybe not. But this one has quite a good distribution, even though most of the articles are from China. Okay, but you still see contributions from Malaysia, Taiwan, Thailand, and other Southeast Asia countries. All right. If you, at night you cannot sleep and you want to look at JCR, we have other indicators here like eigenfactor score, normalized eigenfactor score, article influence score. If you want to learn more, you can click on learn more. Okay. But for today, my focus is on the immediacy index. So this immediacy index, if you open up the calculation, it shows you citations in 2023 divided by items published in 2023. So it means it is the citations per article for that year. So on average, there are 2 citations for each document published that year. So this indicator will tell you if you get published in this journal, potentially you will get cited fairly quickly in the first year. Okay, any value below 1, maybe not so great. Okay. Okay, so that's the journal profile page. A lot of information, right? Yes or no? Yes. Or lost already. Okay, so every journal has this profile page. So I hope that you use this to review. Now, your next question is, okay, you show me the profile page, but I want a list of journals for my specialization. Okay, you can do that by browsing categories. Okay, so there's this categories here. We have these different groups. Okay, today let's look at clinical medicine. Here, these are the various categories. If you are in healthcare sciences and services or health policy, you can choose these. So let's look at healthcare services. There are 175 journals in this specialization. And you can click on this number 175. And this will be the list of journals for your subject area. Okay. You can immediately see by default the journal impact factor and the quartile. But if you want the other indicators that I shared just now, just click on customize. And you can put in PTC index. Percentage of articles in citable items is also useful. Cited half-life. And apply. And it will show here. You might have to scroll a little bit to see the other indicators. Okay. So this one, I want to show you this other indicator, percentage of articles in citable items. Okay, to use this one, take a look at the percentage. There are some of the journals here, 77%. It means that out of 100 articles, 100 documents in this journal, 77 of them are articles. 23 of them are reviews. Okay, this one will have a more proportionate distribution, 66 versus 34. Okay, so this would be a metric that helps you to ascertain the manuscript type. The other thing that you could use is the JCI versus journal impact factor. So let me just go back. Where's my JCI? Okay. All right. So I will sort this list based on journal impact factor. So all the quartile ones will be at the top. How to use JCI together is if you see, let's say this two, okay? This journal, Lancet Regional Health Americas, has a smaller journal impact factor compared to Journal Clinical Epidemiology. But the JCI is much higher than Journal of Clinical Epidemiology. So it means that out of this Q1, these two Q1 journals, this one has more impact over time. All right. So that's how you can use both the journal impact factor and the JCI together to see which journals is more impactful. Okay. The other thing that you can do, by the way, is you can export. So you can export the list in CSV or Excel. But just take note, there is a export limit of 600 at one time. 600. Yeah, 600 in that list in the table. So you have to filter down to 600, then you can export. Okay. Okay. How many of you already have your manuscript written already? Your paper. Have you all written your paper already? Just haven't decided where to publish. Okay. We have a tool called the manuscript matcher. So you can match your manuscript with your article title and your article abstract. Don't worry, we will not save your article in the system. I know you're scared. Wait, share with everybody. Don't have, Okay. So, but this requires you to get your free account on Master Journal List. Okay. For me, I already have logged in, so I will log in first. So from here, manuscript matcher, you can just put in your title. So let me just copy something from here. Okay. Let's say I copy. Where's this? Okay, paste. And then put the abstract. And then find journal. So based on your manuscript, we will say that we have used all these different keywords to help you to match your manuscript to a journal in Web of Science. So you have 27 that was suggested. First one is Applied Sciences Basel. You can then check, is it indexed in core collection? And what is used to match the manuscript? Then you have IEEE Access, Diagnostics as other suggested journals. From here, you can go and view the journal profile on Master Journal List. It will also show you the journal impact factor. Okay. It will also show you APC of the journal. It will show you the preprint information, peer review information, and also allow you to link to the website to make sure that you're going to the right journal. Because now there's also a lot of hijacked journals, right? Or fake journals that are same title. So you want to make sure that you're going to the correct website of the journal to submit. Okay. All right. So I think that's all that I have to share with you. In case you want to explore others, we have a Publishers Explorer and a Countries Explorer as well to see the journals in each country or journals by each publisher. Okay. And there's a filter on the left in case you want to filter to, let's say, only journals in a certain percentile of journal impact factor, like top 10%. You can also do those filters here. Okay. All right. Oh, we time. Okay. Just nice. All right. So any questions? So now I think it's good to open up for questions for this. So any questions? Yes. Where's the microphone for the questions? Microphone di mana? Boleh cakap? Yeah. You shout lah.
Maaf, dari mana?
Tahan.
Check. Okay. Thank you. My name is Intan Firdausi Wardani. I come from Faculty Science of Technology. It's actually a very simple question. I have just tried to register. And before I register with the personal thing by filling the name and blah, 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 I register by Google account, which the Google account is actually the UNAR's Google account. Is
Ah.
that still I can
Yeah.
have the features of UNARS as
Yes.
well?
Yes.
Oh, okay then.
Yes.
All right.
It's so even if you use your Gmail account, Hotmail account to register, it's fine because it will still link you to the access of UNAir.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The only thing is that if you leave UNAir next time, okay, then your access will be cut off at a certain time. Okay, unless you come back to campus lah. Okay.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you so much.
Any other questions? Yes. All. We have time.
Thank you.
I
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Aziz from Faculty of Nursing. As a researcher or a student, maybe we have to publish our research in a reputable journal. And for me, as a researcher, we have to publish our journal because I mean, like some rules of funding in UNER or in Universitas Airlangga require us to publish the result of research in the same year. And it's very challenging for us. Would you like to enlighten us how to find the journal indexed by Web of Science that give us the fastest review process?
yeah, that's a very good question.
And the next my question is how to do you have tools in Web of Science that give us information that this journal is free of charge or no? I mean, maybe some journals that indexed by Directory of Open Access Journals, we just find the name of journal and the result will give us the information that journal A is free, journal B is not free. Do you have the platform maybe or tools from Web of Science? Thank you so much.
Okay, that's a very good question. So I'll address your first question first. So with regards to how quickly a journal performs peer review, it's dependent on the journal. But what we do is we will include as much information as we can in our master journal list. So the duration of peer review, you can actually explore on the master journal list, search for the journal title that you are looking at, and then each journal will have the peer review policy. So if they would tell you this one, what type of peer review, some of them will tell the duration, we will list it here, but some they don't. So if the journal doesn't disclose that duration, we also don't have that information. So you can use this to check and see certain journals, but it really depends on whether the journal provides that detail to us. All right, so that's the information for peer review length. So if they don't disclose it on their website, one opportunity for you to see how quickly they do peer review is by looking at the existing articles. So look at the journal's existing articles. They should have included on the full text article, when was this article accepted, when was it reviewed, when was it corrected, and final production, which month. So you can then kind of roughly see the time frame. Yeah. So some journals will not disclose because if they disclose, they will be held accountable. Like the authors will keep coming to, why you haven't reviewed my article? Why is it not published yet? Oh, okay, so that's the reason why some journals don't disclose. But you can investigate by looking at the article itself, roughly seeing the time frame for each article. Okay, your other question was about which one is free to publish, which one is not free to publish. So which one will have APC, which one doesn't have APC. We don't have a quick search filter, but like the peer review policy, if it's on DOAJ, so if you search under master journal list, you search the journal, there's an open access filter. You can list the DOAJ journals. So these DOAJ journals, all of them are open access. So most of them should have APC collection. If you want to see what is the amount. Okay, you can click into one. And then you scroll down to the open access information and rights. Some of them will never put in the APC, so you have to go to the website to check. Yeah, but if there's information from DOAJ that has the APC amount, it will be here on master journal list. Okay, so to get those two answers, use master journal list. Okay, well, welcome. Yes.
Thank you. My name is Ari Setya. I'm from Faculty of Veterinary Science. Yeah, veterinary medicine. Yeah. So I want to ask about maths manuscript, and we find journals. I already try sub input my title and my abstract, and then the math result is many journal. So is the journal in this math result for recommendation manuscript us for submission, or this is just same research?
So this would give you a guidance. So it will guide you on what options of journals you can submit to. So these are journals that you can publish. Yeah. So just now when I was showing you the manuscript matcher, so let me just copy. Or do you want to ask in Malay? Bahasa? Okay. So let me just show you this one again. So paste and find journals. So these are journals that probably publish similar to what you are publishing. So it is matched based on all these different keywords. And then you can use these as options for you to send in your manuscript, because the system already kind of have a higher match score based on what you have put in your abstract with the what is published by the journal. Yeah, so it's like matching your manuscript to what is in the journal. Yeah, suggestions for the journal.
Saya izin pakai bahasa. Jadi Bu, jadi yang tadi sudah dilakukan pencarian di dalam pencarian tersebut itu diindikasikan sama seperti jurnal yang ada di bawah-bawah yang hasilnya keluar. Nah, jurnal itu bisa menjadi guidance untuk rujukan publish di situ atau submit di jurnal-jurnal yang ada di list result yang telah keluar. Seperti itu. Aristia.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay. Maybe I want to add more information about GCR. GCR is self-update every year.
Every year.
June or July, two times.
So June is the report. Then you will see all the publishers update their journal impact factor. And then another time we update for the data in November.
That's why the data is only show 2023 because it's from last year and they need time to like 6 months.
Calculate.
Yeah, to calculate all the results.
Tinggi match score-nya, semakin ada change peluang masuknya di situ pada jurnal yang tertera di situ.
The question if the result have a high match score, is it more plagiarism or more opportunity to submit paper in that journal?
Not the opportunity. It's more relevant. Relevance.
It can indicate similar or plagiate. Do you think like that? Plagiarism?
No,
it's different.
It's not
similar.
It's not a plagiarism too.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's more like saying that your article's topic will be quite close to that journal's topic. So, Yeah, correct. Something like the aim and scopes, and then what is already currently published in the journal. So like for example, here on the screen, this journal, this article is suggested to Applied Science Basel because there were keywords like machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence applications, and all these different other keywords that appear in this journal's content as well as your abstract. Yeah.
The more high match score.
Yeah, higher match score means
similar.
more relevant.
For the opportunities depends.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I think there's some questions in the chat, I think. Is it?
Absence.
No. No? Okay.
Not absence.
Okay. All right. If there's no question, then
Julian will have questions.
I will have question for you. You all want quiz or not? Do you all want to have quiz? Don't want.
We
Yes,
will
no?
have quiz.
Okay, we have prizes, okay? Very interesting prizes. Okay. Are you all ready? For those who are online, I think sorry lah. Yeah, so all online, sorry. For those on site, okay, we have this quiz for you. First quiz. Now, those of you who have laptop got advantage. You have to use Web of Science to give me this answer. What is the latest document indexed in Web of Science from UNAIR? I give you all 2 minutes.
7:45.
Okay. What is the latest document indexed in Web of Science from UNAIR? I already give you a hint. You open Web of Science, search Web of Science core collection, use affiliation search, and then you sort by the date. If you have the answer, raise your hand. I see somebody raise hand or stretching.
The laptop bisa dicoba ke web.
Yes. What's your answer?
Ya, silakan. Tadi Mbak Intan.
Just give me the title.
Ya, Intan.
Wait,
Effects of glutaraldehyde on bovine hydroxyapatite gelatin alendronate bioscrew its fabrication.
You do the affiliation search. Okay, so now I review answer already. So what was your answer again just now?
Effects of
Effects of
glutaraldehyde.
general behavior. Is it?
Glutaraldehyde.
Oh, okay. Yes. Sort by newest first. Yes.
Yes, that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
So we will collect prizes. I must remember.
Yeah, later.
Okay.
Second question now.
Second question. How many journals are there in the JCR, Journal Citation Reports, for the subject category of information science and library science? Information science and library science is one category. Okay, this one no hint, should be quite straightforward. I already put down there JCR. If you have the answer, raise your hand. Number of journals. If you don't know where the subject Somebody raise hand. Yes.
Yes. Mbak Novi?
Yes, you are correct. Okay. Do we have time for 2 more questions? 4, right? We have two questions. So 1 question, 1 prize, right? Okay.
2 more questions.
The next 2 should be quite simple. Okay. If you pay attention early on. What are the 4 journal indexes in Web of Science core collection? The 4 journal indexes in the Web of Science core collection. Yes.
Dengan siapa?
Yes.
Izin namanya? Irma?
Emerging blah blah blah. Okay lah, I give it to you lah. Science Citation Index expanded, Social Science Citation Index, Arts and Humanities Citation Index, the Emerging Sources Citation Index. Very good. Okay, thank you.
Dan Irma.
And the
Last
final
question.
one. What were the latest changes to the journal citation reports this year? This one a little bit tricky, but I mentioned it. Something to do with some journals have journal impact factor, some journals didn't have. And then anybody? So last year we introduced the journal impact factor to all the journals, including AHCI and ESCI. But last year don't have ranking. Then this year? Then the last prize I keep for myself already. Okay, I give you 2 options. Okay. Option A. We give JCI to all journals. Option 2. We introduce unified ranking and give quartile to ESCI and AHCI journals. Who want to try? Option 1 or option 2? Yes. Yes, you, gentlemen. Option 2. B. Yes, correct. Okay, so we introduce the quartiles and ranks to ESCI journals and AHCI journals, and also unify the subject category ranking. All right, JCI we introduced in 2021 already. Okay, so thank you very much for your participation, and I hope you found today's session useful. Not too heavy lah, boleh lah. So
maybe we can call them to and give the
yeah,
prizes.
yeah. So we want to give out the prizes now. So let me just.
Indah, Intan.
Ya.
Intan. Ya silakan maju. Mbak Novi, Mbak Irma, Pak Aditya. Silahkan maju ke depan.
Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. I hope to see all of you again soon. If any of you are keen to learn more about any of the solutions, let us know. Because the other platform you have access is Insights benchmarking and analytics. So go back, you go and see under the product list, under product, Insights benchmarking. This one also can be quite useful for you if you want to know what Harvard University is publishing, or you want to know what National University of Singapore is publishing. All these available on the Insights benchmarking and analytics. All right. So with that, thank you all, and I hope you have a good rest of the day. And thank you to the library for helping to organize the session. Thank you very much. And I wish all of you well and success in publishing.
Thank you, Julian, for sharing and give us enlightenment and insightful knowledge. I would like to cite your words before. So if you want to publish your research, you can rely on Web of Science and CCR. I'm Wiwianti, I'm moderator. Thank you for today and see you next time. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Baik, terima kasih Mbak Wiwi, terima kasih Miss Julin, dan berikan aplaus sekali lagi untuk narasumber dan moderator kita hari ini. Baik, dengan begitu berakhir pula sesi acara kita pada siang hari ini. Terima kasih atas kehadiran narasumber serta moderator, serta seluruh hadirin yang hadir baik secara offline maupun online, dan sudah berkenan hadir dari awal hingga akhir acara pada hari ini. Semoga acara kita hari ini membawa manfaat dan menjadi research support di lingkungan Universitas Airlangga. Mewakili panitia bertugas, saya mohon maaf atas kurang lebihnya dalam penyelenggaraan acara pada hari ini. Sampai bertemu kembali dalam acara perpustakaan selanjutnya. Akhir kata, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Untuk link presensi, monggo Bapak Ibu bisa cek untuk teman-teman panitia, mohon dibantu ditampilkan di layar untuk link presensi.